Hey guys, good morning. Dave Santarelli here from BreakingChartAlerts.com. Nice morning this morning so far. Not too much of a drop here. Unemployment claims were out. We had 1.104 million, a little over 1.1 million that filed unemployment claims over the past week. They were expecting 925,000. So that means an extra 200,000 people across the United States filed for unemployment claims, more than what they thought. The good news is, though, the continued claims were down. That's what's important. You know, are people staying on unemployment and, you know, holding on to that paycheck, or are they finding jobs and getting off? And the continued claims were down big. So with that being said, market is open now. It's 9:30. We're already up $800 for the day, and that's fueled by, let's see, what do we have here? Apple. Our Apple trade. Here it is right here, up about 75 cents. Let's see, what else do we got going on here? Google. Pretty slow start so far. NVIDIA had earnings yesterday. It had a nice beat, but it pulled back. So we're going to watch NVIDIA because the first candle we see on this starting to climb here, she's going to have another breakout. So I want me to make sure you guys are aware. Let me put that on my chart right here. I got my notebook ready, and we're going to be trading NVIDIA once we see that climb. If that was going to really drop, it would have had a much bigger drop than what it's only down 2%. So I think that's going to have a nice pop next week. So in my notebook here, I'm putting down NVIDIA, NVDA. Look for pop after earnings. I'm going to be looking for ITMVS, which is in the money vertical spread, or some calls for a short-term trade, like a week or two out. 1 to 2 weeks out. So see, let me show you guys this quick. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to show you a picture here because the YouTube video is on. So I want to show you the picture here of what my notebooks looks like in the morning here. Look at this chart on NVIDIA. So here's a daily chart on NVIDIA. And so we're looking for support right here at that 473, 474 area. You know, and she came right down to that today. So that's telling me so far she's holding that support. So if we get a green candle, let me share with you here. Let me get the annotation up. If we get that green candle that looks like this tomorrow, so if we see one of those tomorrow, I'm going to be jumping in NVIDIA and I'm going to be making a larger trade on that because it came down to that support, which is right here on a daily chart. It came right down to support, and so far it's holding. Now you remember what I told you about patience and discipline. So what we're going to do with NVIDIA here is we're going to look at NVIDIA. We'll see where it goes over the next hour or so, and if she starts to climb heavily here, we're going to be jumping in the money vertical spread for next week's Exposed Paycheck trade. Sound like a plan? Now, if she starts to drop below support, then we're going to scrap that plan there. And that's the nice thing about trade plan and discipline. We're going to wait. It's only 5 minutes into opening bell, but this is a setup that I like so far. So this is trade idea number 1 that we're going to be looking back on in about an hour or two. So NVIDIA, she right now is at 480.84. I always like writing that down because when I say I'm going to go back an hour, I literally, in an hour, I'm going to go back and see what that price is. And I'll see what she's done since open. And if she's lower here, if she drops below that 474 support, then obviously she's going to probably further retrace down to that 10 or 20 SMA like it has been doing on a daily. But if it holds here, that's going to be looking for a strong breakout over the next week or two back up to that resistance at 500. So I feel like an in-the-money vertical spread, even if we got something below support. And that's the nice thing about getting a trade that's in the money below support on something like NVIDIA here. So if, let's say, 12 o'clock comes along and we're at like 482 here, and we're looking at that and it's been climbing since the morning there, then what I might do is get an in-the-money spread that's below support. Because if she drops down to support again and then holds, you know, that trade's still safe, and that's still a good paycheck. Now, if we got in out of the money spread here, obviously we needed to climb and we needed to hold that to expiration. So much more risk involved with that out of the money compared to in the money. So I'm going to be looking for maybe like the 460, 750, 470 vertical spread on NVIDIA if it holds today. So not getting that yet. I want to make that clear, and I want to tell you guys, you know, if she breaks below support, you know, that's number one going to be our stop, and number two, if we didn't get into the trade yet, we're absolutely not going to jump in if it breaks below that support area. So we'll see with this in the next 2 hours. If it's still looking good like we just talked about, we're going to jump into a NVIDIA trade, and that'd be a paycheck trade for next week. So I'll give the trade details on that later. I don't want to give it now and people get the false pretense that we're jumping in now. Avilio said he's in some SPY calls. Let's take a look at that. Clear.
ALT, Altimmune, proof of draft of a journal publication just released, providing validation for ALT.
SPY is climbing nicely there, Avilio. Would you jump in this morning? Right on open?
ALT.
Nice. Nice breakout there on SPY. Hey, Google's on the climb here too. Google 1544. We have the 1550, 1560 vertical spread for this week. We're up $900 in the main account today. That's fueled by Apple. Let's see what else here. Microsoft. Got a few dollar gain on that Microsoft trade, and Facebook. Let's see what Facebook's doing here over to the right. Now, see, NVIDIA's still holding and starting that climb. Let's take a look at that on a today 1 minute. Just starting to break above that 10, 20, 50 SMA. If she breaks above that 483, that's a definite confirmed entry there. Alrighty, let's see Facebook. I'm looking at the account, and the account keeps climbing because Facebook here, that had a nice breakout there from 260. What was that opening at today? She opened at 261.50 all the way up to 264.75 just about.
At 2507 of 2.5%.
Now take a look at the 3-month daily chart on Facebook. You know why we've been making those trades. We're holding that 10 SMA. We're starting to climb now. Remember yesterday what I told you guys. If we get a candle, if we get a green candle with a body above 265 resistance, that means we're going to be looking for that next breakout to that higher resistance between 275 and 280. So if she breaks above that 265, that's the nice opportunity there to jump into the in-the-money vertical spread there for a paycheck, and jump into some calls for the week out, regular calls for the week out there as you look for that continued breakout momentum. Just like here, she had that pop, retraced back down to that 10, had the big breakout. Came down to that 10, now it's still slowly climbing, holding above that 10. Now we're waiting for that next catalyst, for that next breakout to that resistance of around 280. But a candle above 265 there, that's the next sign there for breakout momentum cycle and phase on Facebook. SPY is continuing to climb above that 10, trading between that 10-20 SMA now. Google's continuing to climb here. Nice chart on Google. Take a look at that quick. Here's a today 1 minute on Google. Candles above 10, 20, 50 SMA. Big breakout there. She opened, got down to a low of 1534, and she's climbing above 1547 now. Nice breakout on Google. We have another paycheck trade on Google, fueled by the previous trade that we locked in on Google. So that is looking good. I'd love to see that above like that 1555, maybe even 1560 today if the markets could continue to climb. Now up $1,100 in the main account. Let me looking back, see what we got going on in the trade challenge. Trade Challenge account. Activision's looking good. Nike, not so much. Not yet. Let's take a look at Nike.
WWR, Westwater Resources, spiking here, 32% now, 272.
Nike's just about at the highs of the day. That's looking nice to add to Nike, to be honest. What expo do we have? The September 18th on Nike. That's going to be a hell of a trade. I might be adding to that one shortly. When I say shortly, I mean in the next few hours. If we see the markets continue to climb here, that's definitely what I'm going to be doing. Let's take a look at Qs. Now Qs, you got to look for that to hold above that 10 here through the next few minutes. It's trading within the no trade zone right now between the 10, 20, 50 SMA. Now you see it's getting up to that resistance at that 50 SMA, right? She retraced back down. Now let's see if we can break that 50 and continue that climb here on Qs. We're just about 11 minutes into the day. There we go. There's that continued climb on Qs. Let's see that confirmation candle above that 50. There's that 10-20 cross on Qs on a today 1 minute. Now all we're looking for now is that green candle above that 50. And then we could start looking at either adding to some trades or making some new ones. Amazon's on the climb here as well. Amazon's at the highs of the day. NVIDIA, guys, take a look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA's having a nice breakout, 487 now. 3-month daily. What a nice climb there on NVIDIA. I think we're going to see a continued breakout on NVIDIA. She's really climbing. She's at the highs of the day, 489. I think we could do something up to that 500 for next week's expo. Let's just take a look at what an out of the money spread looks like. Qs are starting to climb there. Nice climb. NVIDIA, August 28th. Spread. Buy to open, sell to open. Let's take a look at the August 28th. That's way too expensive. $1.90 to be worth $5. If we could have picked that up for 70 to 90 cents, I'd say yeah, that's a nice setup there. But $2, no way. Let's see the 185 or 485, 490. Now see, this isn't a bad setup. 265 to be worth $5. 5, divide that by 2.65. That'll give us an 89% gain. There goes Qs starting that climb. What did I tell you we were looking for there? We were talking about that 10-20 cross. It was holding between the 10-20, 50. Looking for that 50 breakout, and there it is.
DA subpoena is thrown out.
Everything's having a nice climb here. We're now up 1,500 on the main account. That's fueled by Apple, Facebook, Google,
Russia said to be in talks with
and Microsoft.
Saudi Arabia, UAE, Philippines, India, and Brazil about COVID-19 phase 3 trials.
Wow, Russia's really taking the lead here. Look at that breakout on Amazon, Google. Let's see Facebook here. Facebook would be one I'd love to add to. 264.30. And the nice thing about getting in here is you know your stop. Like if you get in a Facebook trade, first candle below that 10, 261's your stop. So we could definitely do an in-the-money vertical spread for next week on Facebook. Yeah, Jack, we need to see that continue to climb here. She's holding above that 10 and 50 now.
Popping here on volume. Foxtrot India November Victor, FINV. Coming up at 10 a.m., the U.S. leading index for July plus 1.1%.
Alrighty, Ron, let's take a look at that in a sec.
Natural gas storage.
Look at Q's breaking out here. Let's see, Facebook, if I wanted to do, we could do something really safe and go with the 260, 250, 265, 125 to be worth 250. That's a nice setup here for next week. I think we're going to make this trade. Okay, so I'm going to get 10 contracts of this. Net debit 1.35.
Vance's subpoena had sought various Trump financial records, including 8 years of his tax returns.
I think we could get it for 1.3.
AESC, Alpha Echo Sandy Echo. Getting a pop here to the highs of the day. Intraday high 220.
Order status, it's live.
The intraday high hit a high of 288.
I'm changing it now to 1.35. Okay, that got executed here. We were executed at, let's see,
announced by the company earlier.
6.7 minus 5.37. We're in at $1.33. So this will be a paycheck trade on Facebook. Our stop is going to be a tight stop below 261. Stop below 261. So that means this spread, it's probably only going to lose about 15-20% if we get below that 261. So that's not bad there. And we're looking for about 133, 2.5, divide that by 1.33. We're looking for an 88% gain on this Facebook as long as she's 50 cents higher or more by next Friday. That's for the August 28th Expo. And there was that execution order right there. So, what did we pay for that? We paid $1,330 to be worth $2,500. $2,500 minus $1,330. We'll be looking for a $1,170 paycheck there on Facebook, as long as she's above $265 a share by Expo date. And like I said, if we get a candle below that 261, we'll take a loss on it and get out of it. I don't think we're going to have that loss, though, because she's been holding well above that 10 SMA for a while here. So now that the DNC is over with just about, you know, I think things will go back to normal here, and we should see that continued climb in the market, unless COVID cases climb. But so far they've been retracing and hasn't been spreading that much from what I've been hearing. So that's great news for the markets. Wow, Google had a breakout while I was making that Facebook trade there. Take a look at Google. $15.50. 10 points higher, we have a nice gain on that Google spread. And we could easily see that today if we continue this climb. So Facebook trade next week's Expo. As long as the stock's above 265, we'll make an 89% gain. And so we're looking for an 89%, and we're, you know, our stop there is going to be about a 15-20% loss if we drop below that sell signal right here. So I like that risk to reward ratio. Looks good to me. And that one I'll just sit on and let that continue to do its thing.
HTGM, Hotel Tango Golf Micro, getting a pop here. HTGM.
Activision's having another nice breakout. The Activision trade's up 4% in the Trade Challenge account. Google just came down to that 10 at 1547.50. See if it's going to hold that support there at that 10 and start that climb. Take a look at Amazon here. Amazon's having a massive breakout. Amazon came down to 3,238, and she's breaking 32.88 now. So big climb there on Amazon already. She's holding that 10, continuing that breakout. This is something also we could look for a spread on. Charlotte, AMC, yeah, they're opening up the movie theaters, so, you know, that's great news for those. I think, honestly, AMC is a good long-term buy for next year out. You know, I mean, think about it. Once this virus is over, things are going to be getting back to normal as far as movies go. So, that's something I'd like to look for, even if you buy and hold shares. You know, if you buy the shares and then sell to open some covered calls against those shares, you know, you could make some really nice money on that. Or you could get a call. I mean, she's coming off the lows now. She came down at $1.90, you know, $1.86. So you could see what she's starting to do now that the economy is opening up and businesses are opening. So, like I said, the big event is going to be once we have that vaccine and then people get back to their daily lives without that fear. Because that fear is preventing them from going to places like movie theaters now. You know, some people. So that's what's nice about that one. You could get that one for next year's expo and look for that climb to $15. She's at 5 now. That'd be a 200% return just holding the shares. And the nice thing about that, if you bought those shares, you could sell to open some covered calls. So now you got 2 revenue streams coming in just from owning those shares. You know, if you bought 100 shares of that, you know, each contract is 100 shares, control over 100 shares. So if you bought the shares at 557 and you come down here and you put in AMC, and let's see if it has options still. It does. So then you go out, and this is the nice thing about it, you go out to January, let's say March 2021 or January 2022, right? Now this is the beauty of it. So if you bought the shares right now for $559, let's just say you get 1,000 shares for $5,600, right? So it's at $560 a share now. AMC, I'm putting it in my notebook. So 1,000 shares, that's going to cost you $5,600, right? Then you'd be able to sell to open 10 contracts. So now take a look. So now, if you had that covered call, you're buying 1,000 shares, and then you're selling to open, you know, 10 contracts of the call. Expo is going to be January 21st, 2022. And then if you see, you could sell to open that call here for about 91 cents at last traded. You could probably get about 93 for it. So that means here, if you just don't look at this, this is confusing for you on E-Trade there. But if you sold to open those shares, that contract, 10 strike, for 93 cents, that's what it's saying it could go for right now. That means you're going to collect $93 per contract. So if you sell to open 10 contracts, you're going to collect $930 from this buyer. He's buying that right off of you of your shares. So if you bought the shares at $5.60, he's basically saying, here, I'll pay you $10 for those shares.
President Trump says
Let him
President
finish.
will appeal and seek to delay enforcement of the subpoena.
So like I said here, if it gets to 10 or higher, you're going to have to give them your shares that you paid at $5.60. You're going to have to sell them to him for $10. And he's basically paying you $93 per contract for that right. That's as plain and simple as it gets. So now what happens? Well, you own those shares, right? Now, you didn't have that other revenue stream coming in already from selling to open those calls, but now you're making the difference from where you bought the shares at 560 to up to the strike you're selling, so $10. So 10 minus 5.6, so that means you're going to make $4.40 per share on those 1,000 shares. So you're going to make a $4,400 profit on those shares, and you're going to collect that $930 from selling to open those 10 contracts there. So now 4,400 plus 930. So now you just collected $5,330 from that $5,600 trade. That trade's worth almost $11,000 now that you paid $5,600 for. And like I said, that's with the 10 strike. You could go out even further. Go to the 15 strike. Now here's the difference. You do the 15 strike, you make the difference where you bought those shares, 560 up to 15 now. So 15 minus 5.6, now you're making $9.40 per share. So you make $9,400 plus what you're bringing in to sell to open these 15 calls, which is 53 cents or $530. So plus 530, now you just made $9,930 net profit after only a $5,600 trade owning those shares of AMC. So you're bringing in that extra revenue stream by selling to open these covered calls. And that's all it is a covered call. Most people don't know that they have that option, but you know, if you have a decent sized account there, like I teach all of our members, you know, have 3 accounts. You know, when you start making profits, put those profits in that other account, and then you could buy shares, sell covered calls. Now, if AMC has a dividend, now that one stock here is paying you 3 different ways. You're making money from the share price going higher, you're making money from collecting on these covered calls, and you're collecting that dividend. You got 3 revenue streams coming in. That's why it's important when you make profits trading or actively trading like we are, take some of those profits and move it over to the other account. And then you have the ability in that other account to buy those shares, sell those covered calls, and collect those dividends. Alrighty, back to the show here. Facebook starting to climb again. Let's see. Wow, did you guys see Google? 1556 here. $3 away from max net gains. Look at that breakout. Facebook, there goes Facebook. There goes Google. Account is up 1,700 now. Main account, let's see other one. Activision. Nike's finally starting to get a nice climb here. Trade challenge accounts at 4,600 right now. After starting with 25. Look at Facebook breaking out. We're going to have max net gains on our paycheck trade on Facebook and our second Google trade here. So far, it's looking good, markets. We're only about a half hour into opening bell. Hey, Dwayne, what's going on? Look at that nice breakout. Let's see, watch list. Apple's continuing to climb higher, up $6, $4.69 a share. Amazon's up 25 bucks for the day, $32.84. See, Baidu's on the climb, Cisco's on the climb, Chipotle. Banks aren't doing that well today. Financials are down. Cisco's up a little over 0.5%. There goes Google again, 1557. See here. Facebook up $2 for the day.
U.S. leading index 1.4 versus the 1.1 consensus.
Jack, that looks right there, but I don't know why you'd want to sell the 950 if it's at 940 right now. Unless you're just like doing it to test it out. Tyler says Square's popping. Let's take a look at SQ. Nice climb on Square today, up over 3%, 6-month daily. Nice climb there. She should get back up to that 160 pretty quick. Look at that run on Facebook. Nearing 266. We're already at max gains now on that vertical spread we made on order status. So here was the paycheck trade we made on Facebook. That's already going to make us $1,200 gain right there. So we could count on that now for next week. That's a beautiful trade there. 260, 250, 265. We're in at $1.33 to be worth 250. 2.5, divide that by 1.33. That's an 88% max net gain. Now I want you guys to understand, this is why you have to have your notebook here. If you have that Facebook trade and you're a member of ours, you know what the stop is. So you have to make sure at the end of the day, every day, you're looking and seeing, because that's next week's expo. So a drop below that 261, you're out of that trade. Now, if tomorrow comes and she has a pop to 270, well, now we're going to increase that stop to 265. And you know what? We have the 260, 250, 265 vertical spread. So that's still above max net gains. So it's important
Canada
to keep
will open,
increasing your stops there along the way.
164 theaters and 1,687 screens across Canada open as of August 21st.
Canada is opening up their movie theaters. So you're going to see AMC continue that climb there. So now that we heard that news, that might be a nice opportunity to jump into AMC. Do something with a paycheck trade even for out of the money as we continue to look for that climb. AMC. Let's take a look at the August 28th Expo spread. Buy to open, sell to open. Let's do something out of the money up to that next target resistance. See if we could capture that $6, 6 to 650. Let's see. Let's just see what it's going for.
Cineplex trades as over-the-counter CTXGF. Probably
Let's see,
Papa Extra
556.
Golf Foxtrot.
That's going for it. Wow, look at how cheap that is. 17 cents to be worth 50 cents. 0.5, divide that by 0.18. That's 178% max net gain there. I like that opportunity. I'm going to jump in. I'm going to make this, let's just do this one a small trade because this one's going to make 100 and, what did I just say? 0.18 or 0.5, divide that by 0.18. So 178% gain. So if I put, let's say 750, divide that by 18, I could pick up 41 contracts. I don't like odd numbers. We'll make it 50. Net debit limit order at 0.18 max. And let's see, so that's for the $556 strike, August 21st, or I'm sorry, August 28th. Yes, let's open that up. And let's see, it was not executed yet. Order status, live, change. I'll move it up to 19 cents here. Okay, we got filled at, let's see, 0.44. We got filled at 20 cents. I increased it to 20. So that's 150% max net gain with AMC about 35 cents higher from where it's at right now. Our stop on this, 550. 550 strict stop. Make sure you guys are writing this down. Every trade I make, I'm telling you guys where our stop's going to be. Our target's going to be above 6. That should be an easy target for next week, especially as they're saying they're opening movie theaters on the live news wire right now. So that's going to be coming on the news in the next 15, 30 minutes. You'll start seeing that on CNBC, and then you'll see the smaller retail traders start jumping into it. So that's nice there. And then Afrin, I also want to send out a trade ID on AMC. Let's talk about what I talked about before. Buying those shares now, selling to open those covered calls, bringing in that second revenue stream on AMC shares as movie theaters continue to open up here. That's a nice longer-term trade, selling to open those 2022 expos on AMC. Nice setup, though, on AMC. I think that's going to get a big pop to $8 by the next month or so. I think that's a beautiful setup on AMC. So we got that spread that we only need that small climb now, about 30 cents higher, and we're going to have 150% gain on that. So I like that setup for next week. So now we got 2 trades now for next week. Okay, so now you got to manage those trades for next week. You know where our stops are. You know where our targets are. You know our max gains on these trades, and you know what we're looking at if it goes against us to exit. And there we go. AMC new highs again, 570. Facebook continuing to break out. Looking good here. Everything on my charts are looking great. We made those 2 trades there, the paycheck trade on Facebook and the regular trade here on AMC. Look at that, 572 now. We're only 28 cents away from max net gains of 150% on AMC. So that's, now see, you have to understand why position sizing is so important here now. So I only risked $750 on this AMC. I knew it was a little riskier, but you know what? That $750, what did we get here? Let me see. We got 50 contracts, right? Here it is right here. We 50 so it was $1,000 trade. $1,000 to be worth. We have the, so $1,000 is going to make what there?
MDT Medtronic begins post-market
2,000.
real-world study.
We
of
paid
the
20
Inter-
cents. Let him finish talking.
Microsystem. That's Michael Delta Tango.
We paid 20 cents. We got 50 contracts. That's $1,000 we paid to be worth. Hold on, someone's at the door here.
MSNBC says Bannon expected to plead not guilty.
Natalia, nice to see you here. Welcome, welcome. Oh, we just made 2 great trades here.
Really?
Yeah, really great trades. Okay, look quick. AMC's still rising, $5.74 a share now, right? So we picked that up for 20 cents, 50 contracts. That's a $1,000 trade.
In a scheme to rebuild the wall.
They keep talking about this wall all morning here today, and Steve Bannon.
Wall?
Yeah, the Mexican wall. You won't know about it.
Oh, yeah, I know.
You're from Brazil.
I know that the Trump wall.
So, back to this. I wanted to tell you guys. So, obviously, if we paid 20 cents, the max it could be worth is 50. We paid 2,000 for it to be worth 5,000.
AMC.
They're talking about AMC here. The stock's rocketing higher. 577 a share now. I'm thinking about getting it in the trade challenge account here. Just get some regular calls on it for next week. That's actually a good idea. Let me turn around here. AMC. All right, let's see. Let's go with September 18th on the trade challenge account. September 18th, we'll look at the 6 strike. That's going for 50 cents. I'll pick up 10 contracts in the trade challenge account. And did that get executed? No, it did not. I'll bump it up. 51.
ELSD Lawyers says expects H1 sales and profit below prior year
AMC
levels.
opening?
That's EL.
Yeah, the movie
That's
theaters.
water.
Yep. Alrighty, guys, we just entered into a trade challenge trade also here on AMC. We got the September 18th 6 strike call, and we paid 52 cents a contract for it. So something that far out there, I need to be looking for that $7 to $8 target on AMC. Our stop is going to be, let's say, 535. Tight stop there. I like that. So on that AMC, we paid 20 cents. Max it could be worth is 50. So 30 cent max net gain on that. That's 150% max net gain. If it's worth 50.5, we paid 20, divide that by 0.2. 150% max on that one. And our Facebook trade, we paid, what do we pay? 6.7 minus 5.37. We paid $1.33. So 2.5, divide that by 1.33. So our paycheck trade has a max net gain of 88% for next week, and our AMC trade has a max gain there of 150% in the main account. And then we just made a trade challenge account there as well, picking up that 6 strike call for 52 cents. And we got a profit on that already too.
KTOV kicks off, getting a pop here. Kilo Tango Oscar Victor, KTOV. 51 cents up.
Still continuing to climb on
7% now
AMC.
on KTOV.
Like
Kilo
that setup,
Tango
she's
Oscar
up about
Victor.
7% for the day. We made a paycheck trade on Facebook. As long as it's above 265 by next week, we're gonna have an 88% gain on that. So it's just, yeah, it's nice watching that one here.
There's been some good trades on Facebook, right?
What's that?
You have been doing some good trades on Facebook.
Yeah,
right?
Facebook's been doing great. Facebook, Google, Amazon. Yeah.
Apple.
I'm doing nice. Apple's having that stock split. Ron Medlin was talking about Tesla before. He said something about, I just remembered that after he said that. Let me take a look at Tesla. Sometimes I forget easily, you know. So much going on in my mind when I'm looking at my charts, my account, Trade Challenge account, you know, the trade room, YouTube, the streaming software. Oh, you go crazy. All right, so Tesla, NTZ consolidation right now on a today 1 minute, 3-month daily. She's looking like she's going to head for that 2,000. Nice. And the stop on Tesla would be 1840. You could even bump it up to 1850, 1860 if you wanted a tighter stop on Tesla, if you're buying the regular calls on it. Because Tesla is one of those ones that has big moves, so you don't want to be on a downtrend on that when you get it like here, and then you see her drop to that 1800 within 10 minutes. That's not a pretty scene. Tesla's looking nice though. Google 1556. That is looking good. We're close to a profit on that Google spread. Today's Thursday, right? Let's see. Ron says he has a trade on Amazon. What should he do with it? Let me see. Not our trade. We don't have a trade on it. Let's see. He has the Amazon 32.45. 32.45, 32.50 spread. I like that, Ron. You know, I'd be holding on to that. If she drops below, let's say 32.65, I'd get rid of it and lock in that profit you have. Because if you got that way back there, I'm sure you still have a nice profit on that one. But Amazon's looking fine. Let's see. Steve, what was your first trade? Yeah, guys, if you guys are watching on YouTube, please hit that like button for us. Hit that like and subscribe and share, please. That'd be great help for us. He has the Facebook 262.50, 265, Ron. Facebook. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate that. Let's see, Ron, 265. I like Facebook.
If they click on the little bell, on
They'll get
YouTube,
notified, yeah. I'd be holding on to that, Ron. But it's always important when you're doing those spreads, give yourself time, because you could really be sweating that out, looking for that 260, 250, 265, you know? I'd go an extra week out on those. But Facebook's looking good. The only thing is, if I say, hey, here's our stop, you know, 261. If you let it drop that much, you're gonna have a pretty decent loss on that. So now you're stuck here micromanaging Facebook till tomorrow. But if she gets a breakout above 266, I'd hold on to it. If she continues to drop below, let's say 263, I'd dump it there, and then you're still looking at a profit there after that run up. Our trade for next week, that we have the 260, 250, 265 next week. So like I said, on that trade, our stop's going to be 261. Our target's going to be about 270. But as long as it's above 265, we have max gains on that. I like how Amazon's holding that consolidation there a little bit for you, holding that support at 32.70. Let's take a look at the Qs. That's important what the markets are doing now. Qs have flattened out, not really in BDM, just hanging out there. Let's take a look at SPY. SPY still having a nice climb there off that 10, off that 335 support. And SPY's at the highs of the day right now. So I like that breakout we're seeing. You're watching Qs here. Qs got support at 277. So the nice thing about that, if Qs break below that 277, you know your tech stocks are going to pull back too. Avilio, I'm just going to let that one go there. Hasn't done much. That's worthless. Moderna, not worth closing it out and paying the extra commissions. I got to get back in Moderna above 70 though. Markets are pulling back here a little bit. Diamond's still climbing. SPY's still climbing. It's just tech. Now, when you see something like that, Q's pulling back, but Diamond and SPY still climbing, and you're looking for that possible sector rotation there. But I think Diamond and SPY were just lagging a little bit there. I think Q's, tech are a little bit more traded, so we're seeing a little bit more action on those.
Storage. Expecting a build of 43 BCF.
Let's see. Deadly Wayne says, what do you think Activision hitting 84 by September 18th? Let's see. ATVI. I think there's a really good chance of it hitting that 85 by September 18th. That's going to be the short-term resistance on Activision. My profit's going to be between 85 and 87 on that one. I like that green candle on it today. Look at how weird that is. So it's showing a green candle here, but it's also showing we're down 29 cents for the day. E-Trade platform is so screwy. Man, I tell ya. Diamond retraced down to that 277.25 area. Climbing off that. Let's take a look at Qs, see if that's continuing to move higher. I think each day we're only going to go live on YouTube until about 10:30, and then 10:30 I shut off YouTube, and then I'll keep Zoom on for that extra half hour. Jack, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate that. Agree, Avilio, 100%. Target for Google, David Rains. Let's see, Google target. Our target's going to be 1575 next week. It's consolidating a little bit here. I don't want to see that consolidate back down to 1540. See where that is by the afternoon here. But Google looks great on a daily chart here. If you wanted to trade that for a month out, beautiful setup on Google.
FDA deputy says tentative COVID vaccine panel expected in October.
It's holding that 50, the Qs. Amazon starting its climb again. Google again came down to that 50, just like Q's. This is why I tell you, when you have that whole sector performing the same here, it doesn't matter what you're in. It's following the markets right now. Now, if Google got an upgrade, that's going to obviously outperform the Q's here. But Q's are starting to rise, so now we're going to see Google start to climb. Amazon too. Take a look at Amazon chart here. Watch how closely they're trading here. Here is Amazon. Here is Q's. Came down to that 50, just about doing the same. I have extended hours, so if I take that off, it changes here. Hold on one sec. There we go. Starting to climb again here on Amazon. Amazon's looking great there. Take a look at that one, Ron. Look at that candle. 32.78 now. Having another nice run there. So yeah, I'd be holding into that spread still. Qs are having a nice run here. Now if Qs could break that 277.65, we're going to see a big run on our stocks that we have, our options. Take a look here. Looking at the news over here, the Newswire. FDA deputy says tentative coronavirus vaccine panel expected in October. A vaccine, so the government's forming their vaccine panel now for October. I bet you we're going to have the distribution by November.
You think so?
I really think so,
If
yes.
that happens, that's gonna be like the fastest.
So what, yeah, well no, Russia came out with theirs and they're selling theirs to Brazil now.
Like, I know we're in bad hands.
Yeah, you guys, your country's so screwed up over there with Bolsonaro. Man, you guys are going to be the next Venezuela, you know?
I know.
Absolutely. What
I'm
one?
just watching to see how close it gets. I can get my mama out of there.
Yeah, you got to get Mama out of there.
Have you
Let's see,
seen the-
dollar to real. So when I was in Brazil with my wife for what, 6 months?
Yeah.
Oh, it was the worst time of my life, you know?
Yeah.
It's just.
I mean, I love Brazil though. I do not like São Paulo. That was where you were. It's really dangerous.
So when I was there, $1 was about 2.7 real.
That's how it used to be.
Yeah.
Usually.
Now $1 is 5.64 Brazilian
Yeah.
real.
And-
We were looking at houses out there for an investment property a few
Yeah.
years ago when I was
Uh-huh.
out there. So a nice flat out there, a 3-bedroom flat, was going to cost me around $50,000
Yeah.
in a nice place. I could
Now
get
it's
that
gonna-
same thing now for about $20,000.
I know. I've
So,
been looking at it.
yeah,
too,
20
right
grand,
now.
and I have a 3-bedroom apartment in a beautiful building with marble floors.
Yeah.
You know, but here's the thing: like Virginia was renting out her flat, that 3-bedroom, and she was only getting 1,000 real a month. Yeah,
1,000 real?
yeah, 1,000 reals per
Yeah,
month.
that's
So
not very much,
that's
though.
like $200,
Because-
$300 a month.
Yeah, because my
But-
house.
But if you think about it now. So if you're doing it now with the
Yeah,
one,
by 5.
so now you're making much more money on it, you know,
Yeah.
because your investment price is down.
Yeah.
So if you paid 20,000 and now you're getting $500 a month,
Yeah.
you know, now you're saying, hey, you know what? In 2 years, that investment property is paid off and paid for itself.
But and even the price that she was renting her place was really cheap because the place I used to live there, the houses
Yeah.
where I used to live, the rent was like $3,000-4,000.
Three,
reais.
4,000 reais. Yeah. Yeah.
So
oh, you.
imagine that
43
times
BCF bills
5.
and that
Oh, I
is
know.
in line
It's
with
unbelievable.
The expectation.
Oh, I'm just watching these stocks continue to run higher here. Paycheck trades looking good. Google. Oh my God, look at Google. She's almost at max net gains already. GOO. I want to do something in Brazil, but I know the country is going to hell. You know, like it's.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no leadership there. There is, you know.
And it's funny because a lot of people chose Bolsonaro thinking that like after he went to
Yeah,
the
he was
power,
like
the
a
dollar,
Trump. Yeah.
Yeah, but they thought that because of him the dollar would go down for us.
Yeah.
And it just went up.
No.
Happy in,
Did you
in
see
the
his
line,
last,
398 now.
You guys
Pandemic.
believe anything he says, though. Some of you guys,
No,
you know.
yeah, some of them are like brainwashed completely.
Yeah.
Like some people are here for Trump. It's like you know.
Oh,
like,
I know. Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
it's just insane. Like, did you see the last thing that he done? That
No,
he's
I
everywhere now?
really don't even watch him anymore.
He got a little person, like a dwarf. He thought he was a kid, and he left him like in a.
Did he really?
Your ID, Trinity Biotech
Oh
announced
my
He
that
God.
left
it's
him like
for
going like this
COVID-19.
and like in a,
Alyssa
you know,
antibody
like those
test.
things that the
That's
political
kind of
people
what
do.
it was.
So he got a
Wow.
dwarf, and he thought it was a
kid.
baby, and he
Yeah.
threw him up in the air. That sounds something like Trump would do.
And then the person
Oh
recording
my
said,
God.
Like, is that a
Trinity
kid?
Biotech.
Then he's like, "Oh, sorry, sir." Wow.
And then the dwarf gets down and he goes like this.
Oh, did he? Yeah.
Bolsonaro
Yeah, he was
lifted him
happy.
up.
Yeah.
AGCO,
Well, that's good.
AGCO
It all
announcing
worked out, I
chairman
guess.
and CEO succession, Abigail Charlie Oscar.
Market's just pretty flat here. Nice climb. Google 1557, $3 away from max nets on that spread. And Paycheck. Let's see what we could get for it. I'm not going to sell it now, but let's just see what we could get.
I don't think he's gonna win again though.
Bolsonaro, no.
There's
Uh,
no way.
That Lulu needs to
It's
buy to
Lula.
open, sell to open, August. What do we have here? Google 1550, 1560. So, Ephraim, what did we pay for that second Google spread yesterday? I'm not selling this, but let's see what he said here. 6.1. Okay, so it's at 5.1 now. We're down $1 on
Secretary
it.
of State Pompeo says U.S. is
I really
imposing
don't even think
sanctions
we're
on
down
leadership of several Syrian
that much.
military units.
Another $4 climb on that. We'll have max gains. Here comes that 1020 cross now. I want to see it break that 1557. As the day goes on to, as long as she's climbing, she'll be worth at least 6, because that's what it's worth now. So if you have that 1550, it's worth 6.25. So 6.10 is what we paid. You'll see that continue to climb there as the day goes by. Q's pulling back down to that 50 again. Google's still on the climb. There she goes, 1556.63. Amazon pulled back a little. Facebook 265.02. Looking good. Our trades we made today are looking great. Wow, there goes Google. There's the big breakout on Google. Now you see, there she goes. She's climbing. We'll have a profit on that by the end of today. I won't close that out though, because I think she's going to get up to that 1575 tomorrow. So I'll hold on to that for max gains. So those are the two trades we made today. Google and on AMC. Facebook, we made the paycheck trade, the 262.50, 265. We made the AMC 550, $6 spread. And then we have our Google paycheck trade still we're holding on to. And that is looking great. So that's going to do it for YouTube. If you guys are interested in joining, you guys could go to our website, www.breakingchartalerts.com, and you guys can get signed up. If you're not a member, this is what the home page is going to look like. And once you guys sign up, you're going to have all different types of options here depending on the level that you signed up for. So YouTube, if you want to come join us, just go to Join Now Membership Plans. And if you sign up for the Pro Trader Elite yearly membership here, that's going to include one class with me, one class with Ephraim there, and then you'll be put into the system to get text alerts, app alerts, email alerts, and also in our monthly classes here that are going to be starting soon, right? Those videos will be done?
Yes.
Yeah, great. Alrighty.
On my shoulders, guys.
Yeah, everything's on your shoulders. Alrighty, guys. Thanks on YouTube, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Alrighty, take care. You guys know what tomorrow is, right? You don't know what tomorrow is yet, do ya? You don't know what tomorrow is?
No.
I wonder
What
where
is
Tyler
tomorrow?
is. Tomorrow's Day Trade Friday.
Day trade Friday?
Yep. It's an exciting day, especially if the market moves. You'll see. We definitely gotta record tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Oh,
Sounds
yeah.
interesting.
If you're gonna record tomorrow, I'll make sure it's a good day.
Okay.
I'll come in early and look for some great setups. Alrighty, guys. YouTube, I will see you guys tomorrow. Zoom, I'm gonna stay on here for another 20 minutes. Alrighty. Take care, guys.